Hi, I'm Dan Reavers, Chief Executive Officer of Tactile Medical. And very much like our families, the family tree is an important part of our identity and who we've all become. I'd encourage you to watch this 25-year celebration and reflection of Tactile Medical's own history. Our family tree is a rich one, and like most, we stand on the shoulders of those that preceded us. I hope you enjoy this story and that it fosters some of the same enthusiasm it did in me to appreciate the journey that we've taken over and our responsibility to continue it. Thanks for watching.
Well, when I first started Tactile Medical, I went to some investors who told me straight out, I don't invest in women-owned companies. I knew that it was going to be a struggle, but I just kept going and did it anyway. So I called this cardiovascular doctor and he says, well, I love this. He says, can you develop a product to treat lymphedema? And I said, well, I don't know. I don't even know what lymphedema is. I'd have to quit my job. He goes, well, yeah. I remember him stomping his foot once and saying to me, come on, we got to get this product done. I hawked in my jewelry and some other things to get money to pay for a patent. And that's when I hired an engineer to help me. He built a prototype that I took to the Mayo Clinic. It was 40 pounds. It had an air compressor that was really loud. It was on the chief of cardiovascular medicine, and the inflatable bladders wouldn't deflate air. And I thought, oh no, what am I gonna do? And then that's when I got down on my hands and knees at 4 o'clock in the morning, the next morning, and I turned into a self-taught engineer. And I built 3 units on my kitchen table. I did all the soldering, wiring, got the parts at my brother's hardware store, brought them to the Mayo Clinic, and they sold 2 of them to a king and a prince. But it took years, almost 7 years to really develop the product to treat patients right.
25 years ago, I'd say, well, elevate your leg. Maybe eat less and walk more. And it was just accepted as, you had cancer, we took out all your lymph nodes, and now you got lymphedema, and it's good that you don't have cancer.
When I started treating lymphedema patients in Boston in 1975, there was little knowledge or actually interest in treating lymphedema.
The fact that it wasn't well understood actually seemed like a good opportunity because it meant there was a lot of unmet need. The company, when I got involved with it, was in a very small office in a strip mall in St. Louis Park. In the back, there was a little room where literally the garments were put together. I suspect we maybe had a couple of $100,000 in revenue. So it was very small. And at that point, you were kind of thinking, okay, hope we can get to $1 million, and then you're hoping you get to $3 million or $5 million. Because the company was continuing to look for funds, I would talk to individuals, even venture funds. In all honesty, I rarely got a positive reaction from people. I'll tell you a funny story about that is, like, how many people I tried to get to invest in the company who were like, well, I don't understand that, what's that all about? And then later they'd say to me, oh God, why didn't I listen to you?
When I went to the FDA, they noticed that it was treating the trunk and the other products didn't. And they said to me, you have to do clinical trials. And I said, no, I can't do that. That'll take too long. It costs too much money. That'll be impossible. I'll never make it. I said, can I send you some articles about manual lymphatic drainage? The rationale why I'm using these type of pressures and treating the trunk. So they called me while I was holding my grandson in my arms, giving him a baby bottle. They said, break out the champagne because your pressures are low enough. And so, I broke out the champagne.
Met a couple of board members from Tactile who proceeded to tell me what a great opportunity they had with this company and that I should come look at it. In fact, I should do an assessment of it for them. I gave them my report, which said, nope, it won't work. Good luck to you. And turned to leave, and they said, no, time out, wait a minute. I was actually employee number 9. I would say that I was given a very good culture by the founder of the company, Irene Waldrich. It takes more than just being a hard-charging salesperson to be successful. It takes patient empathy. I've had many sleepless nights with Tactile. We get our letter from CMS and they have classified us as a simple pump. That was a bad day. So we appealed, we went to Washington, we brought Dr. Roxon from Stanford in to talk about his experience with our device, and we got the decision reversed. As we were growing, we still weren't profitable. We were on a trajectory to run out of money. In 2008, that recession cost a lot of people a lot of money. We had to take a pretty dramatic step. We asked everybody in the company, management team included, to take a 20% pay cut. And instead of laying people off, which is a choice, we're just going to try to spread this across every employee. And I'm pleased to say we were able to get to profitability. We were able to pay that money back. We didn't lose anybody during that period, which was pretty remarkable. Back then, when we started, we were doing it alone. No one was taking the ball on education of clinicians about lymphedema.
There's ongoing studies now, there's more studies planned in the future. It speaks to a company that's really not going to stand still.
One of our therapists started to apply our arm and upper extremity garments to the patients with head and neck lymphedema by wrapping our arm garment around their head and neck. So we developed our own set of garments. Anything that applies pressure to the neck of a patient, the FDA gets a little nervous about. So we were actually in front of them explaining what our device was, and we could see they were backing up in their chair. So we actually made them put it on. And we turned on the device, and then they realized that it's really gentle pressure. So we got our clearance.
We all have seen the most dramatic responses from patients. One field person said, "I've not been to a fitting of the device without seeing the patient cry with how much they feel improved."
As soon as we get to 100 million, then some big company is going to come and buy us. As we got closer and closer to that 100 million, I think the board realized, wow, this could be 200 million. This could be $500 million opportunity. So maybe we don't want to sell it. We were scheduled to become a public company on the day the United Kingdom voted on Brexit.
When you're going public, you don't celebrate till the day of the IPO.
As I think back about some of the highlights, probably the single biggest one is ringing the bell to open NASDAQ. How big is this market? How big could this company be? It is literally a green field for us to run into.
You know, I just applaud all the people over the past 25 years that have poured their hearts and souls developing what we have today as the FlexiTouch Plus. And I think in 25 years, we're going to look back and go, that was a great device, but look what we got now.
I feel very fortunate to be part of a company that we all know is helping a large number of patients really live better lives.
Before January of 2005, we had served 73 patients. We have now served over 150,000 patients. Once you get a taste of helping people, it's really hard to give it up, frankly.